Welcome back to Shum's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over the air trine in astrology. So the air trine is all about intellectualism and innovation. So if you're an air trine person, that means that your sun or your rising sign is Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. The first one we're going to start off with is Aquarius. When Aquarius is here, what it means is that if you're in a sun sign Aquarius, what I'd say is you're a person that's here to learn to be more innovative, learn to follow your own direction in life and follow your own path. When it comes to your thought process, that means like your religion, your ideology, your career. These things are going to be not necessarily challenges for you, but they're going to come in a place where it's going to go against the grain, whether it be with your family, the social convention that's in place today. So you guys are usually revolutionaries or people that go against the said paradigm, or it's going to be a situation where you're just flat out rebellious, you don't care. Aquarius people, for the most part, that are successful don't really care about fitting in, and then they end up becoming very authentic, and as such they become renowned in whatever field they're in just because of their authenticity and the new sort of thought process that they bring to the table. Most Aquarius people end up becoming some sort of inventor of something, scientists, reformers, medical practitioners. It's a very intellectual sign. I'd arguably say Aquarius is probably the smartest sign out of all of them. We're in the Aquarian age, which is all about technology and reform and walking away from the Piscean age of religion. So Aquarius people are just all about thinking for oneself and doing things in a way where there's no filter there. There's no bars held. So Aquarius is a fixed sign. If you have it in the sun sign position, it just means that, like I said, you're meant to go after your own dreams in a very, I'd say, in a very objective way. So it doesn't really need to be passionate. It just means if you care about money and you care about profits, go after that. If you care about bringing something new to the table, go after that. You guys are just meant to, moreover, in a social way, do your own thing, stay in your own lane. It's not like the water signs that are more interpersonal and healing other people through their own trauma. You guys are more so just, here's what I bring to the table, you like it or not type of people. So if it's a rising sign position, it's sort of the same sort of thing. You guys definitely can be very intellectual, very gifted in the education, but also just in just street smarts and just regular day-to-day routine things. You guys are just a bit ahead of the curve, and as such, you can definitely get into careers that revolve around that, such as, like I was saying already, medical practitioners, engineers, scientists, what have you. You guys usually, no matter what field you get into, even if it's entertainment, something like that, you guys will just bring something new to the table. So it's very similar to like the 11 in that sense, where it's like that bridge where you could bring something from outside this world and you bring it home here. So it's an innovative sign. It's considered very rebellious. It's one of those signs as well that's like a debate between what planet actually governs it. In the original astrology, Saturn did, which makes sense. It's a very disciplined sign to a certain extent because it's fixed. But then you have Uranus that runs it now in the current astrology, which means you guys can be a bit eccentric, a bit obsessive over what you sort of, I wouldn't say take a passion in, but what you sort of learn, you'll sort of obsess over that and think your way is the right way. I think that mindset's proper, or I guess it's necessary when it comes to bringing forth new things. Because if you're somebody that's bringing something new into like the automobile industry, people aren't going to take kindly to it because you have competition that already is doing their own thing. So unless you're fixated like a fixed sign like Aquarius is, you're not going to be able to see your dreams come to fruition. So it's as simple as that. You have to have that energy of being fixed on what you want, have that resolve, but don't be stubborn to a point where you're not receptive of good advice. Next one is Gemini. Gemini in the sun sign position, you guys are meant to enhance your intellectualism a lot via communication. So you guys are supposed to figure out how to express yourselves, whether that be through written or through the verbal word. Gemini people typically make very good politicians. They could make very good commentators, sales associates, sometimes even athletes. They could be ambidextrous, so they're very much mind-body coordinated in that sense. So it's an interesting one. A lot of people consider Gemini snakes because they actually misuse their energy. It's a very intellectual science, one of the smartest signs as well by far. And as a result, they're meant to bring new things to the world, but they're that bridge that it's like an Aquarius should make the idea and a Gemini is the person that's meant to sell it, if that makes sense. Like the Gemini is supposed to communicate that to the audience, to the public. They could be that liaison. So if it's in a sun position for you, you got to figure out what's the best way I can express myself to the world to create a positive impact, whether that be through the verbal or the written words. That can mean anything from working for a company, doing anything from affiliate marketing, social media marketing for yourself. It can go under a wide array of things, but more than likely, you're going to make money via the expression, right? Like even I'm a Gemini sun. What do? I'm on YouTube. I do crypto and things like that as well. But my main thing is, of course, YouTube. So that's the thing. I'm always talking on this. I do readings via writing. So all those things come into play. So for you just got to figure out what sort of thing is going to make you your money. Is it going to be written or is it going to be verbal? It could be other things. Like I said, it could be in social media. It could be athletics as well. But usually it's just one of those two things that offer you the most, I'd say the most profits very quickly, just because you're going with your own path. When you follow your sun sign, it's like following your life path. The next thing is, of course, if it's a rising sign, it means that you definitely have a very peculiar way of communicating. You definitely have above average communication skills, social skills, and then you can use that in the same sort of way to not necessarily find a career, but sort of leverage yourself within any career, whether you want to manipulate your way to the top or if you want to simply just use your natural God-given skills if you're a wordsmith, just again for a company so you can leverage your skills to make more money. It all depends. For the sun and the rising, it's pretty much the same. The main difference, guys, is that your rising is like the expression number. It's your attitude towards life. It's how people perceive you a bit. It's like the personality number as well. And then it's your natural skill set. So if you're able to look through that and then see, okay, here's my natural skills. I always tell people you should look at your rising sign. If you have a natural skill set for communication and expression, then you should definitely be using that in the right way. If you like, even if you're let's say an athlete, a basketball player, you should be going on a bunch of podcasts if you're in the NBA and you're a Gemini rising, because you can get more notoriety probably on those podcasts, which will make your pockets more full just because you're in the NBA, right? So people are going to tune into you more because they like how you talk, like how you dress, they like something about you, the way you move. Geminis are naturally meant to be very famous. It's the third sign, very influential. Next one we have is Libra. It's the last one. Libra is a sun sign position. You guys are meant to learn mostly about interpersonal dynamics. So it's very different from the Aquarius and Gemini conundrum of intellectualism. You guys are meant to learn about karma and interpersonal dynamics in the sense of treating people the way you want to be treated. So you guys are a cardinal sign. You guys could be very, very much starting things, not finishing as well. Geminis can be mutable, meaning they don't take anything seriously. They just adapt to each day. But with Libra, you guys are meant to learn a lot about karma. And what does this have to do with the air intellectual trine? You're meant to learn about people. So how do you learn about people? In your career, you can learn about people via the judiciary system. You guys can become easy lawyers, bringing the justice in action. You guys can get into law enforcement, military personnel. You guys usually do well, I would say, more so with like the legal framework of lawyers, arbitrators, mediators, because that brings people together and you can use your intellectual faculty to draw conclusions to things or at least remedy a situation. Or you guys get into the creative space when it comes to, again, very similar to Gemini, I guess, like art, reading, writing, things of that nature, even speaking. Geminis are more prevalent with the speaking part of it. They're very much wordsmiths and can just talk all day like me. But when it comes to Libra, what I'd more so say is you guys have an affinity for solving other people's disputes or issues. That's why I said like the litigative route of law would work very well for you guys, but also like even social media, marketing, things like that could also do very, very well for you guys, especially if it's in the rising sign position. It's going to be a natural skill set, which in turn means you guys can use it for a host of careers, whether it be through fashion design. You guys have a very peculiar thing for looks. When it comes to wedding planning, systemizing different operations, you guys do very, very well there. But more than ever, you guys just bring cohesiveness to adamant and inanimate objects. So you got to put that together and realize that you guys like bring things together, right? It's a very intellectual side you guys have. You guys have the seventh sign, and it's all about, look at the seventh house. It's all about one-on-one relationships. So the main thing you guys are here to learn about primarily is one-on-one relations, meaning like how you interact with people, what they're about. Human nature overall is going to be a big lesson for you. When people usually have Libra even at house 12, it means that you're supposed to learn via your relationships. If you have it as a sun sign, your life path is learning about relationships with other people and then how to interact with them in a very fair and just way without accruing bad karma. If it's in the rising sign position, it means that you're meant to solve disputes between people, and you can make a lot of money from that. All right, so to draw a conclusion on all this so you guys get a good full understanding of it, if Aquarius is your sun sign, you're meant to become somebody who learns to think for yourself throughout life. If it's in the rising sign, you're meant to be very innovative and create systems or different ways of doing things for people. So you're meant to be an inventor, scientist, some sort of reformer in whatever niche market you choose. If you have a Gemini sun sign, it means that you're meant to learn more and more about communication, learn more about the complexities of language, linguistics, and also how to express yourself in the proper way via vocally or written. If it's in the rising sign, it means that's a natural skill set for you already, and that in turn means that you can make money via verbal or written very easily. So that can go under a whole host of careers. It's completely your choice. Libra, I just went over, so you guys should get the picture from here, guys. If you have any questions for me whatsoever, just leave in the comment section. Aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla at me. It's it for today, guys. Peace.